So I had a patient ask me a couple of questions just a day or two ago about lab-grown meat being approved for human consumption. Now, I'm not going to get into the fact that I'm not a big fan of that, right? I'm not going to go into detail on the problems with it. Most of you probably, if you're listening to this, you probably already get that part of it. Um, but I wanted to talk a little bit about how I see this playing out over the next few months. So the first thing they had to do was get lab grown meat approved for human consumption. So that they've done. That first step they've done. Number two, um, what they're going to have to do is go back and make the argument that lab grown meat is so substantially similar to naturally raised meat that they shouldn't have to label it as lab grown meat or bioengineered or whatever term they're going to use. So number one, get it approved for humans. Number two, go back and convince them, the government, the agencies, that it's so similar to natural meat that you don't have to label it as lab grown or bioengineered. Number three, the natural meat producers are then going to start labeling theirs as non lab grown meat or naturally raised or actual meat or whatever term they choose. They'll start using that so that consumers can differentiate and start to purchase what they want to purchase. So at that point, then the lab grown meat producers are going to have to go back again and say, look, you already said that, or you agreed that these were substantially similar, that there's not really any noticeable difference between the two. So it's not appropriate for the natural grown producers to differentiate their product from ours. They're implying it's somehow better. They're implying it's somehow different. We've already had this discussion. You guys have already agreed that it's substantially similar. So therefore, it shouldn't be legal for them to label theirs as being not lab grown or naturally raised or whatever. And they'll make it illegal for the natural producers to differentiate their product with labeling. And then they have what they want, which is a situation where the consumers don't know which one they're getting. They can't choose. Everything's just muddled up together, and you buy meat and you take your chances and you hope you're getting what you want. So anyway, that's the way I see this playing out. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it if you want to comment or let me know. But that's how I see this going. Get it approved for human consumption. Get a ruling that says you don't have to label it as lab grown because it's similar. Natural producers are going to label theirs to differentiate, and then you got to go back and say, nope, that's misinformation. They're not allowed to do that. We'll see if that plays out. All right, let me know what you think. I think that'd be a bad situation. If you have any influence or if it gets to the point where they're passing laws and you want to call your legislators, I think that'd be a great idea. But let's see if we can at least have a level playing field and let people choose what they want to choose and let it succeed or fail on its own merits. All right, have a good one.